how do you want to grow, right? If you want to grow, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. If you're the smartest person in the room, you have to find a different room.
Yeah.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Divine Stewardship Podcast. As always, I'm here with my lovely wife, Corinne.
Hi.
And today we wanted to talk about struggles with finances that are related to who you're surrounding yourself with, or who you're around most of the time, and what you're ingesting, or as far as knowledge or people talking or advice, because that can really, really affect your perception and can really affect your mindset around finances and around money. That could either edify you or build you up or encourage you, or can really derail you and knock you down.
Yeah.
One of our earlier podcasts, we kind of went around, we did the scarcity and abundance mindset. So it's along those same lines, but truly, it's more about whom you're around.
Yeah.
All right. We just came from a session, and during the session, it was talked about, how do you want to grow, right? If you want to grow, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. If you're the smartest person in the room, you have to find a different room.
Yeah.
You don't always want to be the smartest person there. What was the phrase? You don't want to be a know-it-all. You want to be a learn-it-all.
Yeah.
Right.
Pastor Jim Nugget.
Yeah, a little nugget there. So, and that truly is something that is, I think, overlooked a lot now.
Yeah.
I think everybody wants to be that know-it-all.
Yeah.
And they fight so hard to gain all the knowledge possible, and want to be that smartest person in the room. And let's say they achieve that, I think it actually then stifles them, and they want to continue to stay there.
Yeah.
And instead of continuing to learn, which is what got them to that spot, they stop, because, okay, now they've reached it, and now they're comfortable and they like that feeling, but they're always around people that are, let's say, the same, or maybe not as educationally, what's the word I'm looking for? Equipped as them, whatever.
Yeah.
But the point is that they're no longer learning, and they've stopped, and that means they're no longer growing.
Right.
And the same thing with finances.
I don't think it's easy to go from a room where you are the one who knows everything. I think it's very intimidating to go into a room with people who know way more than you. But it's okay. It's not to intimidate you, but to help you grow and help you learn. And it's similar, I just, with my faith. And like, if I had stayed and I wanted to grow my walk with God, and I never put myself in a room with people who have been walking with God or had a longer journey than me, that I'm not putting myself in a position to learn more and to grow. So it's the same thing with finances. It's the same thing with educating yourself on any topic. It's what do you want to learn? Do you want to stay where you are? Are you happy just being here? Or do you want to learn and grow in that topic? Or do you want to be better? So that's really what it comes down to, is who you are around. It's the people you spend your time with are the people that you become. So,
and in this day of age, it's not just people, right? I mean, think about your social media.
Access. There's so much access to so much information.
Look at your social media feed. Okay, is your feed bombarded with all of the same type of talking points, same type of perspectives, the same type of personality, same advice over and over and over again? Or are you actively looking at different perspectives? Are you actively looking at different modalities, different alternatives? If you feel like you're stuck, or you're just not moving forward, and you don't understand why, that might be one area to look at. Look at your social media. Look at the stuff that comes up on your YouTube. Look at the stuff that comes up on your TikTok, of all things. Look at the stuff that comes up on your Instagram. That'll give you an insight, at least, as to what it is you like to see, right? Mm-hmm. And if you like to see the same old thing over and over and over again, and you're feeling like you're not progressing, well, maybe you might want to get uncomfortable a little bit and look at something new, look at something different, look at an alternative somewhere else. Because I can tell you this, when we went with Dave and we were doing the Dave Ramsey program, it was very uncomfortable to look at anything outside of what his mantra was. And it took a while to break down that type of a mindset and to really start venturing out of Dave's mantras and the Dave Ramsey lifestyle and the Dave Ramsey ecosystem, let's say, or echo chamber. That's a good one, echo chamber, because it was uncomfortable. We had done, and the thing is we had good success, and that's another aspect of it, that
it worked for us.
It worked. So why change? Well,
right.
You want to grow. You gotta grow, and I call them advanced strategies. They're not necessarily advanced, they're just maybe just alternative strategies. The point is that there are many ways. When it comes to money, there are many ways of getting to an end goal. It's just more of what you're comfortable with, what is, let's say, faster, what is more efficient. Okay, there is a thing of efficiency when it comes to money. All right, the dollar has a particular value. Is it losing value? There are ways, and now in this digital world, that have never been conceived of or weren't conceived of 30, 40, 50 years ago, because everything has changed. Things change in like less than 5 years now, and that includes money. Okay, money, the value of money changes just daily. We all know that. Different policies, different politics, things of that nature all affect it. So we really wanted to stress the idea here that if you are feeling stuck, okay, and you're not necessarily making the progress that you want, we urge you and encourage you to maybe look outside that echo chamber that you may be in. Just take a self-awareness test on yourself. See that social media. See the friends that you're around, the family members. Are you taking advice from someone who is in just as much as that as you are, or perhaps more? Or are you looking and taking advice from someone that isn't? Are you taking advice from that person who has maybe built up, let's say real estate is your thing, has built up that real estate portfolio, or has taken that venture and stepped out of their comfort zone to buy their first real estate investment? Okay. What if there was a different way of having a savings account? Okay. Utilizing a different product than the banks, maybe looking at something, creating your own, whatever the situation may be. Maybe you're a term life insurance guy or person, and all you have is term life insurance. And now you're looking at whole life in a whole different way, or you're wanting to learn a little bit more about whole life, like why someone would want whole life when they have this term that's available, it's cheaper, it's all this. What's the big deal with whole life? Anything, any one of those little things that relates to your finances, make sure that you're looking at other things as well. Learn. Always be a learner. Don't stay stagnant.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with when you're speaking to someone who is trying to maybe give you advice financially or whatever. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, but can you show me like the evidence of how this works? Can you show me evidence? Just give me some evidence about how this works. Is it just an opinion, or is it something that you've actually, it's tried and true, or it's something that's been
done
used
before, anything been done before
for years or whatever, that there's some sort of track record? There's nothing wrong with that. And me personally, I've always been afraid to like ask too many questions, because I don't like admitting that I don't know a lot about a certain topic. So I'll clam up rather than like ask the questions. I'm working on that personally, but it's not easy when you don't know as much as everyone in the room, and you want to find out, but you don't know how to do it. But it's our pleasure when people ask us questions and answer the questions for them. I love doing that. I love helping people. So like, give someone else the opportunity to do that for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't just apply to finances. You were talking earlier about like, if you're struggling with finances, taking advice from the people around you, what's their financial picture look like? What does it really look like? Do you really know what it looks like behind closed doors? And it's similar to like, if you're having a rough day in your marriage, the last thing that you should do is find someone else who has many rough days in their marriage, who are just going to sit there and either husband or wife bash with you. If you want a stronger marriage, be around stronger marriages. If you want a stronger financial future, you want a stronger financial foundation, be around people who are more better off financially than you are. Yeah. It's just anything. If you want to lose weight and you want to have the motivation, you find people who are really into their health, who are really into their fitness, they're looking to be more active. They're looking to be a more active participant in this whole journey of like, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get healthy. Don't look for the people who are complaining with you that they're not where they want to be. And I've been guilty of that in the past. I can get real comfortable and hang out in a room with a bunch of people who are right where I am, and it makes me feel nice and cozy and fluffy. However, if I really want results, what am I going to do? I'm going to spend time with this guy instead of spending time with someone who likes to eat dessert with me.
Yeah, that's funny. Because it's so true. And what we're saying is not their advice or their approach is maybe the right one for you. We're not saying that. Mm-hmm. We're simply saying there are many ways out there. Learn, mm-hmm. Always be learning. And whether that individual whom you're going to for financial advice is utilizing something that you're just not comfortable with, that's fine. Here's the thing. At least you learned about it. Now you have something more to do a deep dive in. Perhaps it's not the right moment for you now, but it could be an option for you in the future, okay? Perhaps whole life insurance isn't the right option for you now, but that term is, but you don't know. It could be something that could be done for you in the future, okay? Having options is always better than just having one single thing. And I found it funny when you were just saying, about the whole like weight loss thing and all that stuff. You and I both struggled with our weight when we were younger, and
I still do.
We were on that journey, right, together. At one point we were, doing our fitness and everything, and eventually we kind of figured it out, right? We did the whole keto thing at one point, and I was extremely gung-ho on that, followed that lifestyle for 3 years straight. And then ultimately changed again, did almost like a 180 to where now carbohydrates were my biggest thing. And again, Corinne, bless you so much, because you've been with me on a whole bunch of changes. And again, but think about it now. Look at all the knowledge now that we have.
Right.
Look at all where we've been and how much we've grown.
Right. And this is not to say that someone who's trying to give you financial advice is trying to hurt you. That's just what they know. And you can only get advice from someone of what they know and what they've done themselves or what they've experienced. They may not know. So you just don't always look to the people that you see around you that might have the same struggles, because they may have not found something that worked, or maybe something that works for them may not work for you. Everyone has a different financial picture, which is why like working with a coach or working with a mentor is important, because you get down to all your details with that person. You're not talking about every detail of your finances with your friends or with your bowling teammates in our case, or our coworkers or whatever. That's not something that a lot of people like to get really deep into conversation when they're with a group of people.
I'll tell you right now, I am probably one of the very few and rare people that love talking about religion, politics, and finances.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there is that many people that actually enjoy talking about those particular topics with anyone freely and openly.
Maybe they do, and they're just afraid to actually initiate the conversation.
Perhaps, and that's one of the the things that we also have to know how to talk to people.
Right.
That's the other thing. But I love talking about that stuff. I love helping people see where they are, because again, we keep pounding this in, and you got to get clear. You have to have clarity. You have to be in alignment. We take our faith and we put it towards our finances, and we express that freely. Doesn't mean we don't struggle with it either. We're actually in a deep conversation now with our pastor, and soon it's going to come out as another topic in a podcast later on. But it's all about us learning and our journey with our faith, and really, really getting down into the weeds on these very, very important topics. The Bible is the book that has the answers, but you need to understand and have proper discernment, because you can't just take certain phrases out of context. And there's got to be knowledge there from someone who has really, really studied the Word and that can provide you that guidance. So before we even come out with what we're about to say on a particular topic, we're doing our due diligence to really, really understand it and really learn it, so that we can present it to you.